Yep.
And you can't get that back. You can always make more money. That's why I feel good inside about, I've made millions of dollars. I've lost millions of dollars. But here's the special part is I can make millions again.
Yep.
And that's not a problem. It's the deal is I can't get that time back.
Yep.
To know who you are. And I know it sounds mushy and corny, but like even with my wife, even with Mikey. Action.
All right. Here we go. Chris Show's podcast. All right, Omar, thanks for joining the show, man.
Hey, man, no problem.
Yeah, just going to jump on, chop it up, see what's on our minds. Open format, man. Just what we want to talk about. We usually talk about aliens and then making tacos inside of burritos and whatever else comes to mind.
Just talking to talk, man. I get it. I'm here. We're best at that anyway.
100%, man.
But yeah, man.
We were just talking about, this is something crazy, just talking about, we're just going to get right into it. We're going to get controversial here right from the get-go.
Here we go.
Just tell me about what you were talking about. You just went to athletes trying to play outside because right now they can't play. All sports are basically shut down. So yeah, a couple athletes got together and decided, hey, let's just run around. Let's do something, right? They didn't do like 7-on-7. You said 5-on-5.
Yeah, it was 7-on-7 football.
Yeah.
And I went to a high school. The high school is obviously closed because school is out right now. But so probably like I don't know, maybe 35, 40 people, players got together, and they're just waiting their turn. It's 7-on-7 each time. And the kids that are out there, they're not. When I say kids, they're not as old as us, but they're from probably 17, 18 to about 22. So they're still in the college years of their lives, high school, end of high school, college years. And they went out there to do a 7-on-7 because football's been, canceled for the most part for the last 8 months or so. So they're all getting kind of rusty, and at the same time they're getting antsy, and they want to just play. They want to play, and probably, and if I look at it this way, they're polishing their craft, So they went out there to the high school. They went to do their thing, and they're on the field. There's not a lot of people in the audience, meaning there's only like the friends of them, which is probably about another 20 people on the track. So imagine this picture. There's 35 people on the field part, and they're split up, and there's 14 people on the field, and they are playing 7-on-7. The other 15 to 20 people are on the track, spread out because they don't know each other.
Yeah.
So they're just there, and the deputies pulled up, and they said, "Okay, you guys, it's over. You got to go." I mean, look, it's I get it. I understand. I'm not trying to have anybody spread the virus more than it is now. And for the most part, I think I'm pretty careful. I mean,
we all try to be, right?
Yeah, I'm real careful. I mean, I'm in the gym and working out. When they closed it, you're like, fine, it's closed. And you're good. I don't hang around. My circle is tiny.
Yeah.
It's pretty much you guys. I don't hang out with anybody else. So when you go out there, you're cautious of it. But at this point, I don't know how cautious we should be. Like that cautious where you're not on the field outside where the wind's blowing and the temperature is about 64 degrees. I don't know. So.
I mean, you got that right there. Everyone's out in the open. Mm-hmm. You're outdoors. I mean, there's very few cases, I think, at this point of someone catching it in that scenario. I mean, if that was the case, you got professional athletes right now playing on the field.
Right.
It's like I kind of laugh sometimes because I see, they go to the sideline, the mask. The players sometimes don't put the mask on. Sometimes they do.
Right.
The coaches always have it on unless they run in the field. They want to yell something to somebody. Right. Mask goes down. Then it comes back up. So, I mean, I would imagine these kids are probably at least that level of safe.
Right.
So if it's good enough for the professional athletes, what's the problem with these kids trying to do the same thing?
Well, I don't know what other precautions they're taking, but from what I see on the NFL, everyone's there. There's cameramen, everyone's on the field. And so I don't know, and I think because the virus is so new, everyone doesn't know every precaution to take, and it's brand new, so you're going to run up against all these hurdles and things that jump over. I totally get it, But all I'm asking for is some consistency when we do certain things, because what happens is, just like parents, if we're not consistent with our raising of our children,
100%.
guess what they do? They say, you only know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah.
And to be cautious for everybody in the city or everybody in the state or in the whole country, we got to have some consistent things that we do. I don't mind them shutting it down, but let's do everything the same way. Do it. If you're going to do it the same way, and make it make some sense to the people you're doing it to. Then you won't get these upheavals and uprising. People saying, "Nah, it's BS. Why are you doing this shit?" There's people over here. So Walmart has Black Friday and there's 7,000 people in the store, but I can't play on the field.
Can't play on the field. That's
but
ridiculous.
You got to keep it consistent. That's all I'm asking.
Or even, I'm going to go as far as to say you can't even go outside 6 feet away or more from another party, another family that you don't know, and eat outside.
Right.
That to me is ludicrous. When you can go into a packed store, yeah, there's supposedly, the capacity is down, but I don't know last time you were at a store, Walmart or the mall or, Costco, Trader Joe's. You're close to people. And I think
you are. They're in line and you're close.
Yeah,
and that's there's 6 feet, but
I just heard something yesterday. It said don't share the air.
Right.
Which you telling me how you can go into a retail establishment and you're not going to share the air with them? If you got one person in there, even with the mask, come on, you're not being very safe in my opinion. So, but that's okay right now because it's essential.
Right.
They feel like, okay, you can't survive without food, which is true.
Yeah.
But we could be more careful even with that.
No, and that my point is this. It's exactly the point. If we're going out and we're going to be consistent with things, if we're going to be stringent on this, then let's be stringent on everything.
100%.
I believe if we're going to do a shutdown, let's not do a partial shutdown. Now, this is me personally, and everybody can disagree with me, but if we're going to do a shutdown, do a whole shutdown. Shut down stores, everything, and do it for 3 months. People say, but what about I need to work? Fine. Then that's where stimulus would come in. Take care of the families. Make sure you stay in the house. Make sure you stay in your backyards. But make it easy so there's no one coming to evict you. Your electricity is not going to get shut off. You're not going to die of starvation or water because you don't have any food to eat because the stores are closed. There has to be systems set up. If you're going to do this, you got to do it hardcore. And I parent that way. It's the same way. I'm not going to say, well, you can't use your phone. But unless you feel bored, and then you can use your phone.
Right.
Other than that, you can't use it. You can't use your phone. I'm gonna say no. You can't use it, and you can't use it for 3 months. That's what we're gonna do. And then I believe we can get a real record of how this virus spreads, how it can spread, or how it won't spread. If everyone did do exactly that, stay in the house for 3 months, then it would be just. To me, I feel like okay, now we have our science. Okay. You're right. No one went anywhere, and this thing dropped to 0 or dropped to 2%.
What you're getting now, though, is because I feel I don't know about the whole world, but I know here in San Diego, it probably was 3 months, but for sure the 3 weeks they told us,
right,
everyone was safe, man.
Well, the streets are empty.
I'm talking the parks. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing was open, nothing, and even grocery stores were. That was the only place, and everyone tried to do it before the shutdown.
Right.
And then I think I was 30 days with this shutdown, didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, no.
And I think most of my neighbors are doing the same thing. Most of my family, most of the people I know were doing that. I don't think that shit worked.
I don't know. Look, remember? So on that note, you remember when we shut down, and then the city of San Diego said. No, the governor said, okay, I'm going to go through all these different states and we're going to see what's happening. He went to San Diego, and San Diego had a lot less cases.
Yeah.
But I think because when I remember driving around here, man, it was like nobody on the freeways.
It
was
nobody.
Dead.
It was weird. It
was weird. I actually, when I was looking at their numbers from what they said on the news, the numbers are coming down.
Yeah.
So I just don't think at the point where they say, okay, open everything back up, it's a tease. Now, I don't mind everything being opened back up. I'm a business owner. I want it to be opened up.
Yeah.
But if you opened it too soon and you say, here, open it, and people could do this, they could do this, they could do this, that sucks. Because now it just keeps going and going and going now and went back up again. So I'm like, man, if you're going to shut it down and do it for 90 days or whatever it is, and just keep it clinched. And if you're going to do that, then you would see a real number, but you can't keep going in and out of things. You're never going to know a number. To me, it's crazy.
I think we're going to look back at this, and it's going to be years at this point. I think. I don't think we're anywhere near an end.
Yeah,
I think that
I don't know.
What was the Spanish flu was like? I think it was about 3 years it spanned, right? Was
No idea.
I think we lost a third of the population.
Shit, I didn't know
in about
that.
3 years. So I'm kind of guessing because this is about we haven't had anything this crazy since then. And I don't think we're going to lose a third of the population like we did back then, but I think we might lose a tenth.
Still a lot.
Which is still going to be. I mean, they were talking about millions, which I honestly feel like we're going to have to lose millions. And it might sound crude and crass. People are going to have to die, and it might take. You could literally get it over with. I think in like 3 months, but then now you're going to have extra people die because hospitals are overrun.
Right.
It's just craziness. It's chaos. Everyone's fucking sick. Or you can wait 3 years, but I think at the end of let's just call it 5 years. Let's just make it a nice even number. In 5 years, I really truly believe that whatever methods you do, that the end of those 5 years, you could literally probably do this. You can get pockets. Here's an island that did this. Here's a country that did this. Here's a person that did this. I really truly believe every single method you try. Nature is going to end up winning at the end of the day. You're going to have the same number of deaths. Maybe by a small percentage, it'll be different because of those people that maybe wouldn't have died had the hospital not been overflown.
Right.
But I think every single one of those populations will be like with very small, incrementally different, no matter what you do. Because it's like this is a disease. It's a little tiny microscopic virus. I think we're kidding ourselves if we think we're going to be able to beat this or run from it.
Right.
You do the best you can. You get your immune system strong. You do use a mask. If you're sick, you stay home. It's the stuff we should all be doing anyway throughout life because no one wants to be sick. Right. I don't care if it's a cold, the flu, COVID, cancer, AIDS, whatever it is. You don't want to be sick.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't think this thing is fake. I think it's real.
Yeah.
I just don't know at what extent on an individual it's going to wreak havoc on,
Yeah.
If I'm going to have a headache for 2 weeks, I don't want the damn thing because I don't have headaches anyway. If I'm going to have body aches like Ellen, I think, just posted, she says, one of the new things that came out with COVID was no one explained to me that you get backaches.
Yeah.
And she goes, my back was killing me. She goes, and I was like, why? She goes, then I started Googling it, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, that's a symptom of mine that no one ever talks about. You have massive back pain.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Is back in February, around January, February, I'm pretty sure I had it. I went to San Francisco for a show. There was a whole bunch of just everyone from around the world, from Asia, from Europe, from all over the U.S. They're all over. That's a big, huge industry show, the biggest of the year.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure I got it, and I had really bad backaches. I felt like I got run over by a truck.
Wow, man. And see, his back aches, too. She was like, my muscles were killing me in my back. I'm like, man, my back's hurting right now. No, I'm just kidding. I got this shit. I got it.
I'm pretty sure I had it.
Yeah, no, I think back in January, before they started blowing up, I mean, I heard about COVID, and I think at the time they were only saying we had literally 6 cases they were talking about. I think it was December or January.
Yeah.
And so I remember for the restaurant, I was shopping at Restaurant Depot. I'm running around. I'm doing this stuff. And I remember my chef and my cooks were just dying. And I said, look, you guys got to go. I got to get these other, these guys that are less than them as far as experience to get in here and cook.
Yeah.
So they did that. And those people, they came back in about a week. Yeah. And they were fine.
Yep.
But
2.5 days for me.
Oh, I remember I got it. Whatever the hell it was.
I was in bed for 2.5 days. I was sick.
I had a heavy fever, everything, but I still got it and I took off. I had to because I was the only one buying.
Yeah, that was me. I was day 3 is when I all right, well, you just still didn't feel good, but I was able to actually get out of bed and go do something.
So if I did have COVID, sorry, San Diego. I helped spread that shit.
Yeah, right.
Everybody in East Lake, they got that. Yeah.
Well, I think during that time, I think all of us got it. I think all my neighbors got it. Yeah. I remember everyone was sick and we were like, man, this is a bad flu this year. So we all thought this is a bad flu. Maybe it was. Maybe it was just a bad flu. Maybe it was COVID. So I kind of want to get the antibodies to kind of see for sure.
What's terrifying is if you get a regular flu, And you're like, oh, shit,
You think you got COVID? Yeah,
I got it.
Shit, if you have seasonal allergies, it's like, oh shit, I got COVID.
And they tell you, do not go out of your house, stay home. And I'm like, man, so what happens, you know? But see, here's a problem when that is, people talk about that. If you do get a regular flu, my issue is that you're going to be so anxious over it or have so much anxiety, you're going to freaking die of that. Because, you know, I got anxiety anyway. I can imagine me like, man, you know, my brain starts going like, oh, I got the sniffles. That's it.
That's it. I got it.
That's it.
You know what?
My ears are going to bleed.
Even if we didn't get it, I think every one of us, you tell me out there, every one of us, I think you're convinced yourself you had it.
Oh, my God.
No matter, because you're like, oh, it doesn't, things just don't smell the same. Oh man, I just sneezed. Oh, I coughed.
Hey,
you know,
man.
it's like, oh crap. You know, I think I have it.
Funny. Hey, do you remember when a cough or a sneeze was not that big of a deal in public?
Man, you're deathly afraid to cough now.
If somebody coughs in the store, you're like, what the hell is your problem?
Exactly.
You're
It's like,
super spreader.
You used to cough or sneeze to cover up a fart. Now it's the other way
Now
around.
as far as they're good.
Fart real loud. All right, I hope they didn't hear me
Yeah,
sneeze
you
or
can't
cough.
catch it. Can't catch it from that. Yeah. No, but people are, if someone's behind you or a kid or something sneezes into their arm or whatever it is, you know, it's crazy.
Like, what?
Hey, but you know what I don't get, and no one's answered this question yet. So if you're in a store and you have to sneeze and you have your mask on, do you just go ahead and do it in your mask?
100%. That's what you got to do, right?
I could not do that.
I know.
I wouldn't be able to sneeze. Like,
You know what's funny? I actually saw that, and the person sneezing just took it off real quick. I'm like, you know, that's why we're wearing masks, right?
So what happens?
It's just for that right there.
What happens? You just go for it. You're like, just
sneeze.
I chew in your mask. That's pretty disgusting.
Well, I think the old method is like you sneeze into your elbow.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I think that's gonna protect more than the mask.
Right.
Just do this because you have all this and your skin and your arms, so that hopefully, you know, the droplets, the aerosol doesn't spread.
My son Sterling, he's 7 years old. I tell him, hey, man, cough into your shirt or your elbow, whatever, right?
Yeah.
He just puts his elbow up like this and goes, and coughs over it.
Bro.
There you go. Just let it, as long as it has a barrier to go over, you're okay. That's funny, man.
Oh, it is funny, man. So what's going on with the? I mean, what's your focus right now? I mean, you're always scheming, just like me.
I'm always scheming, man. I always got something.
All right, well, tell me, you know, maybe 2 of the 100 that you're.
Well,
scheming
here's the thing.
on
I mean,
right
more of what I'm scheming on is right now during COVID. A lot of people are just trying to figure out how to keep moving forward or just moving. Period. I don't even know if they're thinking about moving forward. I think the mindset from the people I talk to, you know, whether it be outside or they're just like. Everyone's like, hey, how's it going, man? But they always lead the question with this face of distraught, you know, like, yeah, how's it going for you, man? I'm like, it's going okay. I try to stay positive with everything, but at the same time, I'm trying to find a way to see COVID and find the positive things you can get from it. I don't have the energy or the time to push negativity into my head. I got so much other things going on. I can't push negativity because or I'll live that reality. I don't want to live it. So I'm constantly, no, it's fine. Everything happened for a reason, and I'm going to go ahead and make this work. You know, a month will go by, and you just have to keep telling yourself, man, just do something positive every day. Get up. You know, and I know it sounds cliche, and people are like, oh, my God, it's not that easy. You know, it's not that easy, but it's like anything else. It's like working out, training. It's like, you know, putting makeup on. After a while, you get used to it and you'll do it well.
Yeah.
Just keep at it. Positive thinking you have to train yourself to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people might understand what I'm talking about, but the positive thinkers know what I'm talking about. You have to train yourself to do that.
Well,
it's just not brought.
I think a lot of people would say I'm a pretty positive person, and the truth is, I don't think I'm wired that way, but I've made it such a habit and such a commitment, and I've really dedicated myself to gratitude and seeing the best in everything and seeing the glasses half full. It's just like, you know, developing a muscle. Your perspective, your view of the world, I think you can mold it. I think you can do it. You can make it what you want it to be. To where even if you feel like, oh, I'm naturally a negative person, that does not give you an excuse to not be grateful for the things you have in your life, and to not focus on the positive, the good things, the blessings in your life. I don't think I naturally do that. And I think that's why maybe I'm perceived as a positive person, is I think I have to put extra energy and extra effort every single day to keep my mind in that positive flow.
That makes sense.
You know, and that's one thing. I mean, it's like the really cool thing that I heard. This is Tony Robbins. It says, you know, fear cannot exist simultaneously in a state of gratitude. And that's, I mean, if you really think about that and just really think about what that means, I mean, that's pretty profound. I mean, and fear is, I mean, it's all around us right now, right?
Yeah.
You know, everyone's scared of something all the time. You're always scared of what someone's going to think of you, what could happen to you, whatever it is. Fear always exists. And if you're truly grateful for, Gary Vee is another one. He says, I mean, it's like, I forget the number, but it's like 4 trillion to 1. Yeah, that's how many species, how many life forms are on Earth. 400, like, I mean, it's 400 trillion, whatever. It's a huge number to 1 to actually be a human being.
Wow.
So, I mean, especially us in the United States or any westernized country, you know how blessed we are to even just have been born into a place where opportunity exists,
right?
Where oppression isn't like everyday life. That's just not, that doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not just a snail, you know, or another life form or an animal,
ant that people walk and smash
and you get smashed.
Yeah.
So I mean, just the fact, I don't care if, I mean, how bad off you have it, just that alone, I think, is reason enough to be grateful and get up and keep trying and keep going.
Got him.
I mean, what I'm getting at is you can always find something to be grateful for.
No, and I'm telling you, that's my way. That's my own personal book. I haven't written it yet, but it's my personal book. You know, I've been through a lot of things growing up. You know, I had a less than like nice childhood, I guess I would say. But at the same time, maybe that was what made me who I am and how I used to think, how I think now. But just growing up, I always faced whatever fear instead of saying, well, I'll do it later. I don't want to see what the outcome is right now, because I know people that live that way. Wait a minute, you don't want to know if your wife is cheating on you. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Really. You don't want to know if your husband's cheating. You don't want to know. And people are that way. It's a new thing. They're like, no, I don't want to deal with it, man. It's just, you know what, man? You live your life, live mine. And as long as I live, I said, so you rather live in that ignorant bliss state. Yeah. Not me. I was always confront right now. I got to go, this is what's happening. Same thing with getting your electricity shut off by the, you know, whatever is Edison or whatever it was, you know. It's just you got to deal with it. They're going to come, they shut it off. You go, yeah, it's shut off. Most people are like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. Well, I knew it was going to happen sooner or later because I needed to pay that bill.
Yeah.
But I'm not freaked out when it happens, because I'm like, okay, it's here, it happened, now we're going to deal with it.
Right, to deal with it.
And now we're going to deal with it because this is where we are in life, and that's okay, but we're going to deal with it. I remember it happened to us years ago. I turned on the fireplace in the house, and, you know, the kids were little then, and I said, okay, tonight we're just going to cook dinner in the fireplace. And we got some cast iron pans, put them in there, and just cooked eggs and stuff, you know what I mean? But you made the best out of it. I felt bad for what happened, but I didn't portray that out to the kids, and they're like, oh my God, Dad's down. No, I was like, let's go, let's do this, and we lived that way. So you got to be grateful for the things you have, because I didn't have that fireplace, you know, or a house to be in at the time, and then I would have been like pretty sad. Yeah. But honestly, I still wouldn't have been that sad. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, come on, where are we going? We're going in the car, and we're going to get that little barbecue thing. We're going to spend camping night tonight.
There it is. You make it. It's an adventure.
Keep going.
And I bet you your kids remember that. They're probably going to remember that night as a positive. Like, that was so much. Remember when we cooked over the fireplace? That was so much fun.
Oh, that's one he talks about. He's like, Dad, I thought you were just doing that because it was fun. I was like, because we all slept downstairs.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was like, what? But my mom and dad taught me that, you know? I remember one year coming home, my brother worked at a place. It was a delivery service. He delivered back in the day. And we came home, and it was Christmas Eve, and I'll never forget it. We came in the house. We didn't have any gas or electricity. We only had water. And I remember I walked in, they were burning candles. And like, what happened? And they said, shut the electricity off. We're like, man. And I remember my dad had a fireplace. We had a fireplace, so he was feeding wood into it. So it was a lot of us kids. There's 11 of us. So we ended up sitting all around the fireplace. I'll never forget that feeling of, man, we're untouchable. Like, they can't touch us, man.
Yeah.
Look, we're still together. We're still strong. You can't shut us down.
Yep.
It's just the greatest feeling, you know? So that happened that night. I was like, man, same thing, but I turned it into a positive for the kids. They never felt it. They never felt the ding of it. You know, a few days later, we got it turned back on, but, you know, they never felt that ding. So, again, if you attribute that today, it's the same feeling. I get out of the car, and people are like, what happened? They shut the restaurants down today. Yeah, I did. But you know what? It gives you time to reset, figure things out, and make your situation better. Even if you have to think about, can I move to a different city, a different state, change my concept, or move to a different building? I don't know. But whatever it is, don't let these small things turn into huge things when they're not even that big. It's like, yeah, I understand, but everyone's going through it. And I try to explain that to the people that are complaining. Oh my gosh, everything sucks. The gyms are closed. I'm like, the gym is closed. That's your biggest concern. You're stressed about the gym being closed. Brother, there's so much more to worry about on this planet.
100%.
Like, the gym is closed. Go run.
There's a lot of different options, right? Yeah. A lot of different things you can do. You can always adapt. That's the thing. Yeah. I think the people that are strong are those people that are able to adapt.
Yeah.
They're able to, because I think most people are afraid of change. There are some people that embrace it. I think I kind of embrace it. I kind of enjoy change.
Yeah.
But I think most people, they want that security. They want that consistency. They want to know that it's going to be a certain way, you know?
Yeah.
But you know what? It doesn't bother me. I think that, like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know, it's like I heard that growing up as a kid in sports. You know, my parents that was always kind of what we were about. It's not how many times you get hit and knocked down; it's how many times you get back up.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. You always get back up.
Yeah,
and that's how you persevere. That's how things aren't that bad. And we tend to over dramatize things. Like, we make things really dramatic in our head. Oh, it's the end of the world. It's this. The gym's closed. Oh man.
Yeah.
And here's one thing that I was told a long time ago, and it sticks with me, is, are you going to be bothered by this in 5 years from now?
Sure.
And it asks yourself, if you literally, that's something to kind of think about. It's like, is this going to bother me 5 years from now? Well, then it probably isn't that big of a deal. I probably shouldn't put so much weight on it, you know? It's like, if I'm not going to really be I'm talking bothered. Like, you might remember, that was a little uncomfortable. But if you're still, like, really bothered about it 5 years from now, then, okay, maybe you get an excuse to be a little upset about it.
No.
But if you're not, move on, man.
Move on.
You know?
I say it just like that. Come on, let's go, move forward. Don't worry about that. It's nothing.
That's it.
Oh man, but my car got repoed. It's a car.
Yep.
You get another one. What are you worried about? Well, I'm just saying. Yeah, you're saying because you think that's so devastating. You know, it happens, man. Things happen. It's okay. Let's move forward. It's not that big of a deal. You know, oh man, I gained. People, they will say to me a lot, you know, because I'm in the fitness industry, and they'll say, hey man, I gained so much bad weight. I don't know what to do, man. What's a quick way to take this off? I'm like, well, first of all, you didn't put it on that quick. So if you didn't put it on that quick, it's going to take you the same amount of time pretty much to take it off. Yep. You just have to be patient with it, you know, and trust it. Just keep moving. That's it. But don't cry about it while you're doing it, because that makes you negative, and negativity will bring you right back to the hole. You'll say, well, you know what? I've been doing this for 2 weeks. I don't see any difference.
Yeah.
I'm going to Jack in the Box right now. Right?
That's playing the short game, man. That's being short-sighted. It's like, you got to play the long game.
Nah, I don't do that.
And a lot of people don't play the long game. They're not thinking about, okay, like just like you said, okay, it took a lot of time to put this weight on. It's going to take a lot of time to put out. But they want, give me the shortcut. Give me the quick way.
Yeah.
If you play the long game, that's how you're going to win in the end.
You're going to try.
I mean, you might have some setbacks, but you're going to ultimately win if you play the long game. Especially in today's world, everyone's impatient as a hell.
Oh my God!
I mean, they want everything right now. Everything's got to be right. It's like quick. It's fast. If you don't get it quick or fast, it's like that's it. They don't want it.
Yeah, if we get into that, that's a whole different thing, because it's like social media. It's our phones. Period. We get information now.
Mm-hmm.
If you say, "Hey, look, I'm trying to find a quick way to lose weight," You can Google it right now, and you'll say
a million different ways.
It'll come up and say, something just popped up on my feed today and said, in 25 days I lost 58 pounds.
Oh man!
I'm like 25 days. So what'd you do? Cut off your
leg off?
arm, stab yourself in the kidneys, or would you catch Ebola on the side? It's like
that's crazy.
It's crazy and it's not realistic. But you're giving people this false sense of you can do that. So just keep eating trash, getting whatever you're doing, and then you'll gain a bunch of weight. But you can get it. But there is a thing out there that can make you lose 58 pounds in 25 days.
Call it tapeworm,
right? Exactly what I'm saying. Tapeworm, I say, or fucking cancer.
Yeah,
it's like, man, you could cut your kidneys out and just let it bleed.
Montezuma's revenge,
right? So but that's spread wide, worldwide, because everybody wants the quick fix, and I say there's no magic pill, people. I'm sorry, there's not.
Hard work.
You're hard work, and I know it's cliche, and I know it sucks to even hear it.
Put in the work.
But you gotta buckle down and say, let's do this. Today's day 1. Let's go. And tomorrow's day 2.
Yep.
That's it. And day 3 and day 28 and day 45, whatever, it's gonna keep going. But I'm telling you, if you stay positive, and I know it's hard to do. And it's something that I didn't realize I was practicing every day. But I tell people this all the time. I'm my own cheerleader every day. Something could happen to me right now, bad. I'm like, God, that sucks. Come on, you're good, man. You're good. You got this. You know what? Because you've been through hell. And you know what, man? You come back. You're good.
Yep.
And I tell myself that. And I'm like, you got this. You're good. You got a couple of tears, which you were owed. You're okay. You're allowed to do that. You had a couple of tears on your steering wheel, and you're good. Get out of here. That's it. And I'm right back in the game. I know everyone's not built that way. They're not wired that way. But I really, truly believe you can rewire your harness, and make you a different person. I truly believe that people can do that.
100%. And you have to be your own cheerleader because you got your loved ones around you, your family, but they got their own shit they're dealing with.
That's right.
And sometimes they'll be there for you and they'll say the right words, but I say more times than not they're not going to do it. And it's just simply because they don't know. Like they don't know what to say, they don't know what's going through your mind, they don't know what's going on. So ultimately, the person that's always there is that inside voice. Like you can always be your own cheerleader, but you got to wire yourself to do that. You got to recognize when you need it. You got to take the time to, whether it's meditation, whether it's exercise, whatever your thing is, yoga, running. Whatever it is, you got to get that. Put yourself straight again.
Yeah.
Put yourself straight again. Get the release. Figure it out. And then be your cheerleader. Say, look, man, I've been through worse than this. I can do this. You can do this.
You ever done this before? You ever had just a horrible day? things are going wrong. Everything. Not me. Things are going wrong, and you end up like consoling somebody else.
Yeah.
And you're fine. And sometimes I walk out and say, I don't believe I just pulled that off.
Yeah.
Someone's like, man, I had the worst. This happened to me. I don't believe this is going on. And it's not even as big as yours. Yours is huge.
Yeah.
But their thing is like, I don't know. My mom's tripping because she said that the insurance is not paid and it's only $85 I was supposed to pay, but now they cancel it and they're going to take my car. Yeah. And I'm like, it's like, wow. Inside my head, I'm like, wow, that's your problem. But I don't make it look that way. I'll say, listen, you can fix that really quick by doing this, this, and this. And then by the end of that conversation, you're like, thank you so much. You made me feel so much better about that. I'm like, no problem, anytime. And I walk away thinking, who am I to be I was about to lose it earlier. But that's, to me, it's training again. It's training because that's, I put my issue behind me and literally thought for them to do the right thing for them, to teach them or give them some good advice. That's tough. That's a tough one. And like I said, most people aren't wired for that. And I'm not saying you should go out and go do that, but, but yeah, man, it's right now is a crazy time though. I see more, depression and people, I don't see them for a long time and I'll text them, hey man, what's up? What you been up to? Since last March, I haven't talked to you or seen you. And they're like, and they don't answer nothing for a while. And I'll say, hey man, what happened? This still your number? And they'll go, yeah, man, just been going through a lot, man. And when they text just that back, it's kind of eerie. You're like, whoa, I don't even know if I want to get into that because it's deep. It could have been real deep, I don't know if they had someone pass away from the virus, or they just been locked up in the house for this long and they're losing their mind. You know, I don't know, because I know they say a lot of, you know, relationships suffer through this pandemic and everything else.
I was just reading. It was it was ridiculous. I want to say it was 35% higher this year than last year. Divorce rate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing that a lot of people just kind of go through the motions in life.
Man.
So that's one thing. I see it as a positive almost.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
because if you're not meant to be with someone, and you guys don't get along, and you're just kind of going through the motions and trying to make it work by, you know, barely make it work.
Wow.
Now some people are like forced. Like, well, here we are. I can't go to work, so it's just me and you. And some people have bonded over it. And some people have just been like, man, I can't stand you. And they walk away from it.
But you said you got to look at the silver lining, right? You put those two people together and they're married. They've been married for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But they've never had to deal with this type of adversity.
Exactly.
So you put them together and face them and say, now you got 4 months together. What are you guys going to do?
Yeah,
and they're like,
I
don't know.
Yeah, you are tested.
Man.
Tested in fire right there.
Again,
you know?
on the other hand, for the last 20 some odd years, I've just been working.
Yeah.
Working, training, putting this thing together, building this, building that, building that. You know, again, I hate to sound repetitive on it, but it's this whole pandemic, it actually brought me closer to my family.
I feel the same way.
I know them better. I know the things that I didn't really want to know, some of the things, but I know those things now. I see my kids growing up, not, okay, I got Wednesday afternoon off because I got all this other stuff. And I use that time to get closer to them. So it's not so bad. Now, difference is, business is falling off. But the positive part is I can always build the business back.
Exactly.
I can't get those years back with the kids until they turn, young adults.
You know what?
Can't get it back.
And that's if you went to any retirement home right now and you talked about, just ask somebody, like, what are some of the things that you can tell me about life? Like, what should I be focusing on? Or what are some of the things that, your accomplishments or some of your regrets? Like, what you always hear without fail is the regrets. And it's never, I wish I would have worked harder. I promise you that.
Yeah.
What almost always comes up is I wish I would have been there more for my kids or my wife or my brother or my sister or my friends. I wish I wouldn't have let that friend that I had forever, the relationship just fade into nothing. It's always about some sort of interaction with another human being, some sort of relationship. It's never about
timing.
work. I mean, they're never you can get someone and they're never going to say, man, I wish I would have worked more or would have done this. I guarantee you that's not what it is.
And even at that point in their life, when they're when you're that old, money is not even an issue. They don't say, man, I wish I made more money. No, they're just like, man, I wish I had more time.
Yep.
Wish I had more time with my family. Yep. And you can't get that back. You can always make more money. That's why I feel good inside about, I've made millions of dollars. I've lost millions of dollars. But here's the special part is I can make millions again.
Yep.
And that's not a problem. The deal is I can't get that time back.
Yep.
To know who you are. And I know it sounds mushy and corny, but like even with my wife, even with Mikey, like I got to love her different because I was away from her and we had a system. It was like, go here, go here, go here. Hey, Wednesday night, date night, cool. But then that's it. Then we're moving around a lot. We're both busy with our businesses and stuff. But for the first time, I got to sit back and like for hours and days and weeks and just go like, so what's going on? What are we talking about? What's happening? Like how do you feel about this stuff? But normally it would be like, I got this text. Let me get it real quick. I'll get back on that. Now it's like, I don't really have to return it right now because what's the big deal? So go ahead. What's up? Let's talk. That's a crazy one.
And if you see, that's the thing with just changing your perspective. And that's why, I mean, if you look back at the year 2020, like I almost get mad at this point. I don't understand. Right. People have had some true hardship and loss. And it's been bad. It's been bad for me in certain ways. But if you look at what we just talked about and the opportunity that was in front of a lot of us, like you just said it. I know for me, I cannot remember a time ever, since I was a kid, maybe, that I had so much free time.
Right.
I mean, I'm usually like trying to figure out, okay, when am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? There's always so much going on.
That's funny.
I literally have had like free time for the first time, and I can't remember how long.
Right.
And it was, I didn't know it was needed, but it was much needed.
I mean,
like I was able to rest. I was able to take a step back, refocus, reprioritize, and really, truly get in alignment with me and what is best for me and my family.
Right.
And that's a blessing, man. So to me, I'm going to look back at 2020 as the best year ever.
No, I agree. And this, all the things, like you said, I can't remember all the times. Chris, since 1996, man, that's when I first started the restaurants. But from then all the way up till now, I don't remember taking breaks. I'm always worried about fixing something and pulling something together. But to take a break and go, I mean, I know I'll say this word a lot. It's cliche, but to say stop and smell the roses. Mm-hmm. I really literally looked up the other day and said, when was the last time I looked at the sky for it being blue?
Yeah.
I just never walked around that way. I always walked around with thoughts. I got to do this. I got to do after I get this. I got to get the car washed, but I don't have enough time for that because I got to go do this and that. And then I'll take off over here. Then we have a meeting, and from there I got to deal with this other bank because they're charging me on these, these credit card charges. I mean, you're constantly, so you don't have time to look at the actual red rose as it grows, growing, or the sky being blue, or how pretty the day is. You're like, that's a beautiful day. Then I think maybe my ass just getting old, and this is what old people think about, but But I was like, man, it's just crazy though. You're like, man, I didn't realize those things.
Well, what's funny is like we're always, like you just said, stop and smell the roses. Like how many times have all of us heard that at one point in our lives, or some form of that? Mm-hmm. Maybe your grandparents told you, maybe just a teacher, I mean, anybody, a neighbor. But it's so true. I mean, that's one thing, and I've heard it, and I've wanted to do it forever. But you get distracted so easy. Is there's three presences.
Mm-hmm.
The past is one. And the drawback from that one, the negative side of that, is is depression.
Got it.
Like if you're living in the past, I've never really been that person, because I figure, to me, the past happened, man. It's done. It's like Hakuna Matata. It's like, doesn't matter. Right. It's in the past. It's like it's not affecting me because I don't live there anymore. Mm-hmm. That to me, I kind of take that naturally. I know a lot of people, they are depressed. And I can guarantee you it's because there's something in the past that they haven't dealt with, they feel they need to deal with.
Haven't faced.
And it can be, maybe you need therapy, maybe you need to deal with it. Or it could be literally as simple as just making a decision. You know what? That past doesn't define me. It's not me. And it literally could be that quick. You may not need any therapy. You just, it just clicks. And you're like, you know what? I don't live there anymore. I'm moving on.
Well, there you go.
And then you have the future, mm-hmm. which is kind of where I'm at. That's the worry. That's the stress and the worry person, which is me. I'm always thinking of, okay, if I do this, then this is going to happen. If I do this, then I can make this happen. I do this, and I can get this, I can get this, I can do that. And I always tend to do that. I'm always scheming, planning ahead, trying to be strategic with what I do so it ends up being in a good place. Not saying that's all bad, but I tend to live there too much.
Right.
Like I'm always doing something now only because I'm focused on the future and what it's going to bring. And then the present is, and that's the gift. Yeah. Like present gift. If you're living in the present, that's when I think you truly are. You're in the moment. You're able to appreciate just the fact that the sky is blue, that the birds are singing, that there's a bee over there that's sustaining life. It's getting nectar from that flower. That the wind's blowing through that tree. that your loved one in front of you is experiencing something. That you're having lunch together, and you're truly present. And that's where like your whole life kind of opens up, and it becomes like so much more meaningful.
That's what you're talking about too is great. But somewhere along the line, that's training for you. You made yourself like that. You weren't always that way.
No.
See, and you made yourself like that.
It's still a battle to do that effectively.
And your peers, people you hang around with, and this sounds cliche too, but the people you hang around with ends up being who you are a lot. Because if you're around a bunch of negative people, man, you're just like, whoa, you guys are just, you need to stop. Every day is a problem. When are we ever talking about, man, you know what? I was thinking about this. I was thinking about I want to build a roller coaster over there where the old gym used to be on the ocean. They're like, are you crazy? That's impossible. That's impossible for your mindset But I'm saying you got to keep moving. You got to say, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do it. But positivity is, man, I'm telling you, it's so rare.
Yeah.
Because people find the negative in everything and they love to talk about it. I'm like, nah, it's okay. That's why a lot of times people say, man, that's pretty cool. You have a good way of thinking. I'm like, no, I try not to clasp on the negativity all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and it is a talent. You gotta curtail it to be the best for you, because it is hard. Because sometimes you just feel like, yeah, I know, man, the world sucks and everybody's against me. And then you check yourself and say, no, it's okay. Because I'll tell you what,
Sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
And that's why one thing I tend to not do is you got to allow yourself that moment to let it affect me.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm done. Let me move forward.
Usually,
sometimes, all right, let me. Okay, that's a real emotion. That's how I feel. So let me get it real quick, and then you catch it, pump yourself back up, and you keep moving.
Wow,
you know?
I get it, and that's how I deal with it personally. Is I get it out by myself, and I'll go like, man, you know what? This is unfair. I don't know why they treat me this way. I'm so good to these people, and why they turn around and do that? Man, you could just pull me aside and said, this is what we're gonna do. You don't have to be sneaky about it. But then I go, okay, I'm gonna go in the gym right now. I'm gonna put on some music that's gonna inspire me. I'm letting the world know this now, but I'll listen to like the Eagles, the freaking Celine Dion, anything that's old, and like listening to them, I'm like, okay, that's real stuff. And they're like, man, and I bring myself back to normal again. Then I'm walking out of the gym smiling, or wherever I train, and that's it. And I'm reset, and I'm back again. Again, that's something that's trained. That's something I had to do consistently to make it a habit of mine. I don't like to be down. I can't be down more than a few minutes, and then I'm back again. I know psychologically and biologically, sometimes you just don't feel up.
Yeah.
You don't feel up. And I know that. Those are the hard days. You fight through those. I just don't like everyone. I know when I'm not winning the battle, when someone says, hey, man, you okay? I'm like, ooh, you see it, it's coming out.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I am human, so you're going to see those things. And I'll say, yeah, I'm okay. I'm just being a little sissy right now, that's all. I got to feel my feelings. Yeah. And they'll say, oh, yeah, I get it. But I'll say it like that, and then I move on again. Yeah. But, man, it is reality. Yeah.
But again, it's okay to get knocked down. It's okay to have to experience the pain, the frustration, the negativity, the sadness, the anger, whatever it is. But yeah, the problem is when it becomes you, and you dwell on it, and then you make that like your driving force. Because all this stuff can be used for good, but you gotta know how to do that.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't make it just like encompass you, and now and you turn into this nasty person.
Oh my God! Like what they say, Chris, that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, if you don't have the right boots, don't go there, because I can turn negative things and to positive actions. Like I can be like, oh, I'm so annoyed with those people. That guy that is my landlord at the restaurant or whatever, he's such a jerk. He's greedy. And I'm like, you know what? That's cool. That's all right. I'll put my long game you talked about, right?
Yep.
A long game is I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna do everything I gotta do here. Then I'm gonna buy this property from him.
Yeah.
He's like, what did you do? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm the mayor, by the way, now. And you gotta
that's
go.
right.
Yeah, so
all the permits come through me.
Right, and those are that's my long game.
Yeah.
But that's how I turn that negative into a positive. I'm like, nah, I'll work, I'll drive, and I'm gonna do it in silence. You're not even gonna see me doing it. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna get it done. But again, that's training.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's always good, man. It's good talk. Good talks.
Hell yeah. Well, we kind of just rambled on lots of stuff.
Heck yeah, man. We can keep.
I love it though.
Shoot, this is everyday thing. We throw another person in, man. We just keep going. I want to see another perspective.
That's it.
Yeah.
Get the aliens in there too.
Yeah. Oh shit. That's episode 2.
Oh, they just had the what was it? Saturn and Jupiter just aligned. You see that? 2 days ago?
No.
Oh, that was crazy.
What are they saying?
It was. I mean, it's the first time in the last. I think it was 400 years. I think it was like maybe 800 years was one thing, and 400 years. I think the last time it happened.
Was that Monday?
That was Monday. Yeah, it was Monday.
That was it's supposed to be a superpower day.
Yeah, exactly. And they call it like the Star of Bethlehem too. I heard that too.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it was pretty. It was just like it was there. It was pretty crazy.
I remember what they say in all the the black people forums where they're saying, "Oh, black people get superpowers on this day." Monday, I was like, "What the hell, man? What happened?"
Whoa.
I was like this, nothing, no webs, no lasers. I'm cool.
No flying, no X-ray vision.
I was like, man, I'm gonna bust through that wall. No, ain't happening. Damn. I was in front of Bank of America. I'm gonna get to the safe wall. Get all that out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's good though, man.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? It's like I mean that's cool. I'm sure it affects people. I mean the moon controls the tides and like all kinds of stuff. So why wouldn't the planets have some sort of control? I mean, it's like I don't know. Like I don't put too much importance to it, just because I'm a control freak anyway. And I don't like anyone or anything having control over me. So I feel like even if it does, I'm not gonna let it.
So it ain't gonna work on you anyway.
It ain't gonna work on me anyway. Yeah, that's it.
You're like, man,
I'm
they
too
all
strong for
lined up,
that.
man. You're like, what does that mean? You trying to control me? It's God saying, relax, buddy.
Yeah, right.
I'm looking out for you. Oh man. Let's see what's going on over here real quick. All right.
Yeah, we probably should wrap this up anyway. Yeah. We'll talk again tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah, man.
Next week we'll
got
do
good
it again.
Stuff. Good stuff.
But yeah, thanks for coming on the show, man. Thanks for chopping it up. Any closing thoughts?
Nah, man. Just like I said, for everyone that's locked up in the house right now, trying to figure things out. It's not a lot to figure out. It's just where we are, and you got to make the best of where you are. And like Chris said earlier, in the present is today. Yeah. Make the best of it. Get outside, go in your backyard. Build a fairy garden or something. I don't know.
That's funny because our daughters both have a fairy garden.
Right, exactly. I act like I knew about that forever. It just happened 2 days ago.
That's new to me.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, but stay positive, man. That's all. That's what I leave you with today.
Hunter, that's a great closing, man. Yeah, just stay positive, live in the present, and be grateful, man. Just be grateful for what you have. If you opened your eyes, I'm sure you can find something to be grateful for.
That's it, people. Love it. Peace.